Hey, this is Christian Okoye, your Nigerian nightmare. You're listening to The Barn.
Hi, and welcome to The Barn, live from the Barn studio in Southeast Missouri. You got the Mox here with Chuck. Chuck, how are you, buddy?
Perfect.
We are humbled. We are so grateful. We have an absolute legend on the other end of this line, the Nigerian nightmare, Mr. Christian Okoye. Christian, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Just living the dream, brother.
Yeah, what is the dream these days? What are you up to?
Super Bowl, man. Super Bowl. We won the Super Bowl. That's the dream right there.
Yeah.
You got to love it.
Is there a barbecue restaurant that you walk into in Kansas City and you don't get a free meal from? I mean, you're like a legend up there, right?
Man, they don't give me any free meals, man. I may get a drink here and there, but I pay my own bills. Oh, man, I tell you what, man, I wish they give me free meal. I'm glad they don't, though, because I'll be big as a house.
What is your favorite spot up with your barbecue?
Well, as you know, I live in Southern California, so when I do visit, which I do quite often, I go to Jack Stack, which is right there in downtown.
Sure.
You know, but I do like a Q39 too. I go over there and get me some bun ends.
Oh, yeah, Q39. That's great.
They have this bun end sandwich there. I think they call it Mr. Beef or something like that. It's awesome. I usually go over there and pick it up so I can take it on the plane with me.
There you go. That's
going in a couple of weeks. We got to get that.
That's the plan. Q39. Yeah, that's a good one. I love Jack Stacks as well. Arthur Bryant's, Gates, all those. I mean, we can sit here and talk Kansas City barbecue all day, right?
Yeah. That's right.
That's all we want. That's all we wanted, Christian. Thank you. No, I was kidding.
Two-time Pro Bowl, 1989 rushing leader, 1989 Player of the Year. Tell us about your time in Kansas City.
My time in Kansas City, it was awesome. It's still awesome because I go over there often and people embrace me. They take me in as one of their own. So right from the get-go, when I was drafted, I got to Kansas City, although some people kind of, frowned at my draft because I didn't know football for that long. I only played 3 years of organized football. So a few people were saying that the Chiefs drafted a project. But I worked my butt off to get to where I was. I made sure that nobody was to blame for drafting me. So I made sure that I knew exactly what I was doing when I stepped on the field. And it worked out.
Yeah, I'd say it did. It had quite a career. Now, I know, injuries are part of your story, right?
Yes.
Do you feel like that cut your career short?
Well, it did. Injuries, played a big part. And then the second reason was because I played 6 solid years with the Chiefs. And because I wasn't very familiar with the game, I didn't play the game growing up. It was extremely tough for me to hang in there with all the injuries and stuff. And so it was easy for me to just decide to leave the game, which I did.
There's different viewpoints on how kids, playing football at what age and stuff. But one that I've heard that makes sense to me is start them at the young age that they do now. They learn how to take the hits, so they don't get injured as they grow older. Do you think that as late as you got into the game, that had something to do with it?
Well, no, that doesn't have anything to do with it. Football is a violent game. It's a violent game. So what I would like to say to parents who have little kids that want to play football is I say wait till they're old enough to take instructions, as far as coaching is concerned. Also, when you have those Pop Warner teams, you don't have very good coaches coaching those little kids.
Oh, true. Yeah, good point.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to wait till, maybe junior high or high school when you have better coaches that know exactly what they're talking about. And also the kids will be able to take instructions from those coaches. And now their habits will be formed and taken up to college. And then college is where they're going to perfect it, then pros.
Right. It's insane that you started playing football at 23 and led the NFL in rushing at 28. I can't imagine the work you put in to do that.
I worked Yeah, I worked my ass off. I worked extremely hard. Every time I stand in front of kids and they're asking me questions, about playing, I tell them, I said, nothing beats hard work. If you know
Yeah.
exactly what you want, then you have to plan to work extremely hard to get there. If you don't work hard, you're never going to get there. Nobody will do it for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see kids who have all the talents in the world and they never make it. They didn't make it because they didn't work hard. You can have talent, but talent alone cannot do it.
Junior Seau, quote, they get paid to practice and they play the games for free. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I know that you had retired by then, but you stayed a Kansas City Chiefs fan, obviously. But
Forever.
Forever. There's this play that I've just always been obsessed with, and I want to know your thoughts on the Steve Bono 76-yard run. Do you recall that in 1995? Where were the other team? I don't understand what happened. This guy's running slower than I've ever ran, and he don't even get touched.
Let me tell you something. Sometimes some things happen in games that kind of make you scratch your head.
Yeah.
And it happens. It happens, and you have great athletes who will run them down, and they didn't. So obviously they have other things in their mind, and sometimes you have defenses, and they have assignments, and they're working on each other to go do their job. And if the other side didn't do their job, that's why these kind of things happen.
Somebody that didn't come up in football, was it difficult to learn? You caught on at a later age than most in the NFL do. Was it difficult for you to learn an entirely foreign sport to you?
Yes and no. Yes, because it's like going to school. You have to learn your plays and know exactly what you do and your assignments and so on. No, because I wasn't used to the violent part of it. I played soccer all my life. I still love soccer. Soccer is still my number one sport. And in soccer, we don't have this violence. When I played it in high school, I played it for fun. I run around and I go home, sleep good, and come back again tomorrow and I play. But in football, after you play a game, especially the way we played it in the past, it's extremely difficult for you to wake up in the morning and feel the same, especially as a running back. The way I played it, I ran the ball a lot. So when I woke up in Monday morning, I'm looking for cold water to soak my body in. You see, totally different. Yeah.
Do you practice on Mondays after?
Well, Mondays, what we do on Mondays, watch films, and then you have to go out and run sprints, and then we lift weights.
Oh, man.
So those things, very hard for me when I'm very, very sore.
Yeah, after the beating that you give people. I was about to say not take, the beating you give people.
Yeah.
That's nuts. You're talking about, had you ever participated in track and field before, you went to the Pacific University there?
Oh, yeah. I was a track and field guy in Nigeria. So when I came to Azusa Pacific, I came there just for track. I came to train so I can go to the Olympics. But I started playing football when Nigeria didn't pick me to go to the Olympics for Nigeria. So I decided I'm going to play another sport. Soccer being the sport that I love the most. I was going to play soccer, but I was too big at the time. So I decided to try football, which a lot of my friends have been trying to talk me into playing.
I can figure out why.
Yeah.
Do you, you talk about the violence in football, and that's actually, one of the things that you were known for, and I think had a lot to do with your popularity, was the style of running that you do. When you watch football now and you see guys like Derrick Henry and his style of running, does that sort of remind you of a throwback to what football used to be like when you played?
Yes, of course. It reminds me of, the throwback style. But you have to understand that football is quite different today. It's a passing league now.
Yeah.
And that's why Derrick Henry is having such success. If he played in our era, he will be as successful as he is today, because everything went when we played. People hit you from all angles, and there's no rules. People hit you with helmets and everything. As a matter of fact, I got injured a bunch of times when people speared me with their helmets, on my arm when I was running, my back. They broke my back several times when I was playing. So they had to put like a plate in my shoulder pad so that people will not spear me that much in the back. But everything went. when I played. And today, Derrick Henry is just enjoying himself, running through people, especially when they don't practice tackling. You know,
Right.
Right, yeah.
they don't even wear pads in practices now. So good for him. I wish I played today.
Oh, it's funny you say that because we were just talking. We were looking or watching highlights, fundamentals. The way you were running, I was like, dude, he would have 3,000 yards today. The way when you anticipated contact, how low you would get, they couldn't get lower.
Yeah.
They would hit you in their helmet, which they can't do. My God, buddy, you would. You break this Walter Payton's record in 6 years. It'd be insane.
Yeah, but this is a different time.
I know.
So,
There is.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they don't have as well these days is a neck roll.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Well, there's no need to have a neck roll. You know,
Right.
The
True,
game
actually.
is softer now. So when I played, you have to have every protection you could get.
You know, that's one of the things I think when you, with a sports fan, if you bring up Christian Okoye, the name, the neck roll sticks out, and then also Tecmo Bowl, the Nintendo game, right?
Yeah.
cheat code.
People, I hear about it every time I go to make appearances. People bring that up. I've signed so many of those boxes.
Oh,
It's incredible.
That'd be
Yeah.
a good one. Maybe you'll sign one for us March 26th at Orlando Gardens in South County. You're coming to our neck of the woods, St. Louis, Missouri. You're going to do an appearance there and be signing and meeting some of your fans and doing some meet and greets and those types of things. We're excited to have you in town.
Well, thank you so much. I am looking forward to coming to St. Louis. I love St. Louis.
You had started football at 23, but in your rookie season, you had I think it was 22 or 24 receptions. How did you learn to run the routes and all that so fast? That seems very complicated in the NFL.
Well, yeah. The thing is that before I was drafted, I was trying to learn how to catch that ball because I wasn't used to, football. When you say football to me, I think soccer.
Yeah.
So the football. American football is just it's in weird shape.
Yeah.
So I worked extremely hard. So I was second, like you said, I was second in the team receiving with 24 catches.
Yeah.
But when Marty came, Marty says to me, I want you to get yourself in shape because we're going to run the ball and run it a lot. Don't worry about catching the ball from the backfield. We're going to take it to them. I said, okay. That was the only thing I knew how to do anyway. Let's go.
They call a downhill runner, right? Where you're not moving all that laterally. You're just put your head down, run straight through, which, again, you don't see a whole lot of these days. But I think, again, that's why the fans of the old school appreciate you so much.
Well, they told me that's the closest line to the end zone, so I have to take that line.
There it is, right? And that's what the defense is trying to get you to do, to run laterally. It gives them more time to get there. But if you hit that hole and you hit it hard like you used to do, you can get there pretty quick.
Logical.
That's right. You can get there pretty quick. And also, you don't have too far to run. You don't tire yourself. I can get up, line up again, and run the ball again,
Absolutely. What was it like being coached by Coach Schottenheimer?
Coach Schottenheimer, I loved him, man. When he was alive, he was a good coach. His players love him, even though he worked us extremely hard. But it was fun to play for him. I think being coached by Marty Schottenheimer kind of, extended my career because I didn't want to play longer than 5 years when I started playing. Coming from a poor family, I told myself I'm going to play about 4 to 5 years and then leave it. But when he came, I was being successful with his style of play that I decided to stick around a couple of more years.
Well, we're glad you did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's another event I want to talk about. Sunday, April 30th at 4 p.m. in Kansas City. You are doing a celebrity roast. Your foundation is putting on a celebrity roast of Steve DeBerg.
Yes, my foundation, we fundraise doing the roast, and then around Christmas time, we take a bunch of kids shopping to get them Christmas presents.
Oh.
Some of those kids that don't get the chance to celebrate like the other kids. So we work with the underprivileged kids. And Steve DeBerg is very gracious to allow the guys to come in and make fun of them and to raise money. So we have fun doing that every year. But this year it just happened to be the draft weekend that we're going to do it. So this is probably going to be the biggest crowd we'll get.
Oh, very cool. Are you going to come up with some of the jokes yourself, or who do you have coming in?
No, we got plenty. We got plenty. Everybody will be there. Tim Grunhard will be there. And Neil Smith will be there. Barry
cool.
Ward will be there. I mean, Mike Bell and some of the older guys will be there. So Steve is a very, very fun guy, and we love him in Kansas City. And he has a lot of stories. You know, he's a very funny guy. He did a lot of things that we can make fun of him with. So it's gonna be happening.
I looked him up earlier, and the funniest line, or the funniest headline I've ever seen, popped up when he had the finger, the pin in his finger. The LA Times said Edward Scissorhands makes the playoffs. It was hilarious.
I know.
I want to ask you one more thing before we get out of here. The nickname Nigerian Nightmare. I've heard that the Kamaru Usman from the UFC reached out to you to borrow that nickname. Is that true?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I told him he could use it. You know, I own the name, so yeah, I don't mind him using it because he's a great fighter, great athlete.
Yeah, and Nigeria's, you know, at one time had 3 UFC champions with Adesanya and Francis Ngannou. You know, what's in the water down there? You got this like the UFC kind of thing that you guys are raising up, like the farm system, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nigeria, the small country of Nigeria, the size of Texas, has over 200 million people living there, you know.
Wow.
So, 200 million people. So you have Nigerians living all over the world. There's no country you will step in and you won't see a Nigerian community there. So they're very creative. And Nigeria, if you look it up, Nigeria has the largest number of African American doctors in America. They're Nigerians, you know. So that's a bunch of stuff. You know, we're everywhere and we're creating stuff and doing stuff, and you know. So and if you go to Nigeria, those guys are very creative too.
Just don't believe the Nigerian prince email.
No, don't believe that. But I'm gonna tell you, the Chinese people are just using Nigeria too. So just don't touch it. When you get those emails, don't open it, don't touch it, because you know it goes back to China. Yeah.
We are going to be catching you March 26th at Orlando Gardens in South County, St. Louis, Missouri. Going to get those jerseys, balls, cards signed, autographed. We have the Nigerian Nightmare, Mr. Christian Okoye, here on the barn. Christian, we appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's amazing.
Take care. Go Chiefs.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Talk soon, okay?
All right. Bye-bye.